All right. So, last stream I finished all of the building designs, which means that we are finally ready to get into the last map design that we're going to do, that would be the caves. So let me show you where the caves are in my world. They're in the southern trail. Up here, you need to have strength to get to them. But once you have strength, you'll be able to go in. And these, I'm going to make it so these are going to be pretty deep caves. You're going to have a lot going on in them. But you can get all the way to here with them. And so those are the two caves, the western trail, the eastern trail, and they're going to connect. Which means I'm basically making it a little bit over 50 by 50 because all of these maps are 50 by 50 and the cave's going to be down here and go up and come out over here. So that's about the size we're going for. And I'm thinking that there's some exclusive places that are like one-way places. Like if you enter the trail, the cave from the western trail, then you'll be able to get to things that you couldn't otherwise. That's a little tricky because that would mean yeah, I'm going to do that because if everyone's going to go from here, I don't know if people like that'll key people into the fact that they can get waterfall, go up here and actually do things on the other side. So it'll help them realize like, hey, there's a little bit more that you can go find. So with that being said, let's open up a new map. I did not think about what we're going to name the caves yet. And we'll just call them ancient caves. And maybe we'll change that as we go, because generally more of the storyline comes together when I get to eventing and more of like the lore of the world. And right now it's very surface level what I have planned. So, and like I said, it's gonna be about 50 by 50. And the background music is going to be the cave. So I'm always a little torn on cave design because on one hand you can do something like this and just have it be black, and then on the other hand you can go like that. I think I lean that way. This isn't like a house. I think I want the entire backdrop to be like this. Okay. When you come in, you're going to have to come in at least 8 squares off the bottom. Great. So that's going to be 8. I'm going to give it an extra because you'll actually stand on that wall when you enter or exit. And now we need to go this way. 8 at least. I'm fairly certain that it actually, well, I'm pretty sure that it isn't the same distance. Like the map isn't perfectly square when you're actually playing the game based on where your character is. I think the sides are actually, you can see farther left to right than you can up to down. But I've never actually bothered looking. I've just honestly just cruised with 8. Like, oh yeah, it's 8. Okay. Let's roll with it. Let's just keep going. I spent this weekend camping. And it was pretty incredible. I went to the Sawtooth Mountains. Never been before. And honestly, with all the forest fires happening out here, I didn't see much. But it was nice going out. We did a 10-mile hike, and then we canoed around a lake another day. It was so relaxing. It's like nature vacations just hit different. I'm just looking at this to kind of see what we have going on here, to try and figure out how exactly I want this to go. Let's do this side now. Also, food just tastes better when you're outside camping. I don't know why. You'll have the same stuff that you've had before, but just because it's outside, it's just straight up magical. Maybe I want to go one farther out just to be safe. Okay, so now we're just going to do this just so we understand the space we're working in. That's not even the right way, which is good, because then I know we're working with something like this. So okay. First things first. We are going to create a one-way border along this wall. And this is important How close do we want it, guys? This is important because when the player comes in from the bottom, I want them to realize, like, oh, hey, there's another section that I haven't been to. Like, how do I get there? And then hope that they go back and start picking around, like, the central trail, the western trail, like, looking, like, okay, where's another cave entrance? So... Okay, and now we're gonna do something else. Oh, man, I jumped the gun a little bit here. The other thing I wanted to do was actually make this a natural drop. And then we're gonna have a bridge right here. because you should be going up in elevation to go from here to here. There should be a couple different points where you go up a flight of stairs. And this is where that upper path is so important. I'm gonna tease like Pokeballs that the player could go pick up, items the player could collect, if they can come in from the correct area. I'm actually thinking about going with one of these. I know that's how they use it in like Mount Moon and Fire Red, but I actually just don't get as much as these other tiles. I got a question for you guys. Did you ever use Repel when you guys play your Pokemon games? Growing up, I never used it. It was one of those habits where it's like, no, I'm only going to use these items if I like if dire situation, really need to. No other alternative. Back against the wall. And that like never happened because I was so cautious that I just run back and save anyways. Run back, heal, and save. But it's something that I've started using more in my playthroughs because I'm just not nearly as interested as I once was, I guess is the way to say it, in the grind, the Pokemon grind. We're actually gonna do something else here. I actually in the first game I ever sat down to make, I designed an area that like a guy just gives you Repel before you even like start it, and it basically says like you're gonna need this to try and encourage players to use it, because what I essentially in my first game that I made, I had the rough outline for my game was that Team Rocket captured the mythical birds, and because of that, your region was going through a climate crisis, and there was a huge drought through like the center of the region. And so to drive that point home from like to kind of create that feeling for the player, I made this massive, it's huge, just absolutely stupid big desert that you had to traverse. And then after you free the birds at the end of the game and go back to it, it's all like, it has rivers and it's forests and it's all green and it's all grown back to kind of show like you did it. And I still really like that concept. But yeah, at the very start, the guy's like, first off, you should heal. And second off, you're going to need a Repel. So I hope that so I hope that people actually use it. Mainly because, again, I never bother. Cool. I think this is looking pretty sweet so far, guys. Okay, and now what I think I need to do is carve out the next line. I added that just to kind of make it look like it wasn't as square. You know what? I honestly just didn't like I don't really enjoy caves in Pokemon games that much. There's so many annoying Pokemon. It just never really was my cup of tea. It's like I go into the caves and it's like, okay, I'm gonna fight a rock type and a steel type and then a flying poison or flying psychic type. I think, you know what, I think, and this speaks more to just like my general laziness as a player, but I liked playing Pokemon in a way where I could have the same like Pokemon at the front of my party for any area. Because I was like, yeah, I should just be able to put any Pokemon I want in my party. Like, well, not any Pokemon. I should be able to put one Pokemon in my party for this route, and it should be able to handle everything on this route. Which obviously isn't how Pokemon works, even though I wanted it to be that way. Which also in the first Pokemon game I made, I like specifically avoided doing that. I went out of my way to make it so it was hard to do that. I'd make it so there's like, oh, if there's a lot of grass types and you're going to go with a fire Pokemon, then there's also a lot of water types in this route. And so you can't just have like a fire or a type, like, because then you also need to switch it out whenever the water type Pokemon comes up. Things like that. And honestly, I don't know how other people feel about that. Maybe when people actually sit down to play it, they'll feel like it's excessive and switching way too much. Which, if that's the case, I'll take the feedback. It's an easy fix. I mean, people like to play Pokemon in their own ways, you know? I think it's a lot like the Star Wars fandom, where basically everyone has in their mind the perfect Pokemon game. Or like, you know, everyone likes different aspects of the game and different challenges. And I equate this to Star Wars because like everyone likes different things about Star Wars, whether or not they recognize that. And so whenever someone's like, oh, they should have done this instead, or they should have done that, they always lean into like the elements of Star Wars that they like. And that's why you'll have like every Star Wars fan has their own opinion on how Star Wars should have gone and what they could have done to make it even better than it is. And so Honestly, while I would love to be one of those people who got to make my own like Star Wars storyline for something, I don't envy them. That must be so hard, man. This is the next layer that I'm doing. I was just doing a rough sketch of probably what it'd be like. Okay, well, I need to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with this mess of a section. There's a lot coming together right here. And where should the player actually walk up? I think I'll do right there. Okay, it's coming together. Make this little bottleneck right here, and then it opens back up. I feel like I'm just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks right now. Like, you never know when you sit down to make a map what you're gonna end up actually doing. So it's cool. It's honestly cool to actually sit down and do it and see where you end up going and what ends up happening. Because like I never would have thought of putting this lake in. Oof. And now we have one. Is there better water than that? There is. Good. I was like, this water isn't actually doing what I want it to do. I think I had to go out more. There you go. That's fun. I like that little moment that's multi-level because then you can go back around it once you go up a layer. This is turning into a really neat little section. I think it would help if I did something like this. Is that too much? Should I just do one? I think for now we'll just do that one. that. Just leave it like that. And now I'm tempted to just run it along the length of this. I like how that looks though, so I actually am going to keep it. And I really like melting it into the wall, even though I know no one else does that. Yeah. Great, so you can go around here to get up here, and then... I mean, that's the thing about caves. No one's really gonna go for it, right? They're just gonna be like, alright, what is the absolute minimum that I can do in this cave? It's honestly, whenever it comes to any fan, like, community, it's hard to know what'll people, like, at what points will people, like, agree and really love some element of it, and at what points are people just like, no, I would never. Because I look at this cave and I'm just like, even making it, I look at this cave and I'm like, that looks really good, but I have zero interest in actually exploring the nooks and crannies of this cave. I would just get in and get out. It's one of those hard parts where you're like, I do kind of want to keep the walls close together, but at the same time, you sort of look at it and you're like, no, can't. Every layer needs to become the default layer, you know? Like the base, like these, this needs to be this wall and not this one, because this is on an extra level. This is one higher. So it wouldn't actually fit. You know what? Let's go like this. There we go. See, in this wall, at some point it needs to bend and turn into this one. I can't. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. I think when map designing, it's really easy to fall into this habit of only building up. And so I really like these opportunities to layer down and show that, like, when you walk into a space, you aren't like defaulted to the bottom floor. There's always a little bit deeper, so you kind of get that scale where you can go up, and visually you go up and down even if you never actually can visit those locations. Okay, and now we need to put the right dirt down to these layers. Yeah, I love also when you go up or down, changing the texture. I am going to have to redo a couple spots, I think. Now that I'm starting to put the dirt down, I think some other spots are going to jump out. It's like, whoa. Yeah. That was a good layer to do it on because it made my life easier. But, for example, these areas need to be reworked. There. Yeah, easy. Easy fix. Now I need to make sure that I can even walk on like half these tiles. We're going to add some crater portions to this ground. Only 2. Can't do too much. Okay. And then we got this. I tend to put these in the places that the player can't actually walk. And then also these. Just, again, adding some texture. Okay. We're gonna just do one last thing. We're gonna add a sign up here. And then we're also going to put some of these ruins down. It really is just sort of where yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now that I've put these down, my mind's starting to think of like, well, what are these going to say? And I'm starting to realize that. So Arceus is going to be the legendary Pokemon, the main like story event legendary Pokemon, and then you're going to have the Regis, because again, normal legendary types. And so if you're going to do that, then that fits with these ruins to kind of build some lore out. Maybe post-game I can make a entrance appear here And you can go down to an ice cave where there's reg ice. Things like that. I'll scatter them about as post-game content. And then on one of the islands, I'll have another after you beat the Elite Four. And after you get Arceus, then like you can go to like this forest jungle and get a different Reggie. I think that looks really good though. Let's test it out. Before, getting a little excited there. We're gonna do some cave stuff. Oh, this is an unusual cave entrance. Maybe we'll put it the normal cave entrance right here first, so we have a default. Yeah, no, this is taking you to the ancient caves if you go here. Okay. It doesn't move the player, it's just you touch it and it teleports you. So maybe there's no alterations that I'll have to do down here. Okay, well, let's go back to our reference guide. And let's go in the rock cave and let's make the exit out. This doesn't do what I want it to do. I want it to be like a if player stands on, take one step forward sort of deal. Ooh. No way, they have tile. They have puzzles. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this is sweet. Okay. Well, this... I want it to work like a door where it checks if you're on it. Yeah. If you're on it, then it'll move you. Because right now this just puts you right outside. Okay, so it doesn't do that. So I'm not going to do it. You touch this, it'll take you down south. You're down south and you touch this, it'll put you right up here. This does the same thing. It doesn't check if you're on it and move you. This does. If you're on it, move. Okay, so that's what I wanted for the Western Trail. But I want to make sure they walk the right direction. Move right, move left. We don't right. Okay. Sweet. Let's test it. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it to finally load and then immediately just rip it back to my other screen. Oh, we're close. Okay, here we go. Nice. I can't walk on any of these spaces without being in debug mode. Great. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Let's make sure you can't see any of the edges. Yeah. This is my check. 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 Can't walk in any of those spaces. This is great though. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit that. Because this is the only cave, I don't think there'll actually be any problems with me changing that around. So this will be a puzzle. I'll make that a puzzle. And I'll make these some cryptic messages. Alright, let's make sure that the teleporting in and out over here actually does its job. Hey. Hey. Let's go back in. Sweet. That works. And there's only minimal changes to be made. So we're going to go to the cave tile set. We're going to find the rock that I had the player climbing on. Should be this one. And we're just going to say, yep, you can walk on it. And for this one, you can say, you can walk on it, but not off the edge. And I think that should cover those places. All right. We did it. We finished the cave. Next stream, I'll talk about, I guess, the next steps for finishing the game. So, thanks for watching.